Raider Nation, what is going on? Eddie Pascal here, back at Radio Row with my pal Steve Scholes, and as promised, episode 2 from Radio Row this week of Upon Further Review, brought to you by our good pals at Coors Light. And so we were talking, for me, and for you too, for our collective, it's good to get out of the studio. It's good to get out of the facility. It's good to feel the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm here on Radio Row. And as we record this, it feels like things are definitely heating up. The energy and enthusiasm is ratcheting up as we get closer to Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I haven't covered a Radio Row since 2020 out in Miami.
Ooh.
So it feels good to be back, be around the people. And you mentioned earlier when I just got in here that it's not just sports. It's everyone from celebrities, but we've also got the entertainment side of things. We've got, you know, Nickelodeon's over there. Everything is here, so it's a good time. We get to see different people and not just be in the studio.
And it's fun, too, because you get people from all walks of life. It doesn't matter if you're an entertainer, sports person.
Right.
Like, you could be selling a random... any type of whatever you could possibly think of. Yes, Radio Row is literally like a conglomeration, a group of the most random people, and I mean that in the best possible way, all in the same place, all loosely covering the game in some form or fashion. Yeah. But like I said, for us, it's just great to be out of the studio, to get that energy, because for us, and you know this too, covering the team with us, is that the season is long. Right, you lock in July, and you kind of turn your phone off, put the blinders on until, you know, in this case, early January. But to get out, to feel things, to feel the energy of the people, and to talk about things. Yes, talk about the Raiders, and we're going to talk about the Raiders a lot. I promise about that. But to talk about other things too is just good to get the creative juices flowing. Yeah.
What's been your favorite part so far?
My favorite part, man. I think, you know, I talked about it a little bit, but just to see a lot of our friends around the league, I think is a lot of fun for us. You know, and as crazy as it sounds, like, you know, the past year or two, things have been so limited in terms of people going places and a lot of our people, you know, coming out to see us. So the Super Bowl's great because you don't get to see everyone across the league, but you get to see a whole lot of them. So seeing people is a lot of fun. And really, like, you know, for us, spending time together outside the building. Like, we spend a lot of time together during the season, which is great, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But to go out, to be able to go to dinners, to kind of check in with our people here in a non-work way is a blast.
No,
what about
it's
you?
great. It's more intimate. I like it. And again, this is, like I said, it's been since 2020, 3 years now since I've been able to come out to a Radio Row. It's nice to be able to have a home team to do it with, the silver and black. It's cool to walk through. I came in today, and security from the Vegas stadium, from Allegiant, is here, and they go, "You're the in-game host." I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "It's the hair." I said, "Thanks, great. You don't remember my name. It's all good." But it's nice to see that because it feels like a community still as we travel around. So and thank you for allowing me to be a part of this with you. We haven't gotten to work together this close, so it's cool.
And it's a lot of fun, too, where you talk about kind of the community sense of everyone. Like we talk about, is kind of pulling in the same direction here, more or less, right? Like, I know some people kind of have their wacky little shticks, but everyone here is more or less to cover the game, talk about football. But I think one thing that I'm always really surprised by in the best possible way when we go out into the world is you see Raiders fans everywhere, right? So when I was flying in on Tuesday, I was kind of our last, not last, but I was our second shift guy. So the few things that we forgot at the facility I had to bring, including one of the helmets.
We saw that.
Right? And so I'm walking through the airport. You know, I have the helmet in the overhead security, or the overhead bin. And as I landed here in Phoenix and I'm walking through the airport, guy comes up to me, big Raiders fan, like, "Oh, it's a cool helmet." And so it's nice to see our people. Doesn't matter what desert we're in, doesn't matter if we're on the East Coast or the West Coast. It's good to see our people out in the world.
Raider Nation, I say this all the time. Anytime I do Raiders Talk of the Nation, anything I have to do with the team, it's like we show up and show out. They come in full force. The Shield is just, you know, another extension of all of us. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and it'll be great because a year from now, we're going to be doing this very same thing, but we're going to be in Las Vegas. We're going to be really with our people. And so for us, it's great to kind of have this, I don't want to say a dry run because I think we're pretty dialed in. Like, you know, I think we have a good system for how we're doing things. But to really see this year and what we want to take from this year and make it even bigger and better in 2024, I think is going to be a blast. But speaking of things that we've done and we feel really good about, you and I have had the chance to talk to a lot of people over the past 72 hours. We are going to show back-to-back two of our favorites, right? So we're going to do Miles Burris and Seth Rollins. Miles Burris, who Raiders fans will remember as the middle linebacker for the team.
Back in Oakland.
In Oakland. Local kid got to come, well, local-ish kid got to stay home.
916
Yeah,
Sacramento.
there you go. But it was great to catch up with him. Miles has had an incredible second chapter to his life now, acting. And then Seth, and as our guy Marcus will attest, Seth freaking Rollins, the WWE Superstar. We chatted with him. So it was so much fun. We have a lot more. I know that we have a few more coming down next week of the folks that we talked to. But we want the people to enjoy these two because, frankly, we feel really good about them. And I think they're cool. So, without further ado, enjoy our conversations with Miles Burris and Seth freaking Rollins.
I need to try it first.
Eddie and sit back on Radio Row with our guy Miles Burris. And Miles, I was thinking back because I'm going to date myself a little bit. I was here when you were playing. When you were a middle linebacker, I was here doing this. And I'm trying to remember, obviously you've had an incredible second chapter doing all this really cool stuff, Young Rock, et cetera, but I don't remember you being this good on camera with the media when they were asking you about, is Jamal Charles going to be here? Like, I remember you being really good, but you were kind of soft-spoken. But now look at you, the personality's blossomed. It's great.
Oh, thank you. You want me to look at you or right into there?
You can just look at me. You can just look at me. You just look at me and
stare into his eyes as deeply as possible.
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know. I don't think you knew either because you were not going to hold the mic.
So I can talk. Yeah, dude, honestly, when I was playing, I was always just like, man, don't be that guy that says something wrong, that the head coach says something in the meeting. Just stick to taglines. I was just always scared to death and drinking from a fire hose. So now I don't have to do any of that. So ask away, man. I'm here.
I like that. Wait, so how did it flip-flop for you? Again, in sports, something that you know and love, you were afraid to kind of be that outspoken person. But now in this new chapter, as you said, Eddie, how did you find that voice where you can just be yourself?
I wasn't getting hit in the head every day.
That helps.
No, just when you're playing, everything is so busy and from one task to the next, and you're just, like I said, drinking from a fire hose. You always have something to do, and I didn't really have a second chance to even think about anything or think deeply about things. And then I feel like a lot more of myself has been able to come out since having more time and having more just people to speak with and expand my mind and venture into something else and let my goofy side out that I kind of kept reserved while I was playing.
I know they're two different jobs, obviously, but they're both entertainment jobs.
They are.
Right? So looking back at, when you were playing here with us in Oakland, all the college stuff, did it help, having the background of being able to perform in front of people, right? You're playing in front of 60,000 people yelling and screaming. Oftentimes when you're on the road, 60,000 people don't like you, they're screaming against you. But now to shift to being on camera and still performing and still entertaining, were you able to find kind of any similarities in those two worlds?
Yeah, it's a great question. 100% you can. And like you said, that the entertainment piece, the performance piece is what I love about acting so much, and that is there within football. Now, within that, there's differences because in football, you got one play every single time to get it right. And if you don't, you're the guy that everybody looks at and points at and says, you did it wrong. You're going to be watching replays on Twitter and everybody with their opinions. In acting, the stress is less in that you could have 10 to 25 takes on the same scene, and the best one will be the one that makes the cut, more than likely. But yeah, nothing compares to that pressure and stress that you have on the field with all those people watching live. And with that, you still do have some of the pre-game nerves or like pre-audition nerves. There's similarities in that, but I think kind of the funny difference is that before a game, you're around athletes and all these big manly dudes, and they're doing their warm-ups, they're putting war paint on and yelling and listening to music and sweating, and you go into an audition room and guys are like,
it's different.
And I was like, Jen, if I'm ever one of those guys, I told my wife, you take me out. I can't do it.
We're retiring after that. We're retire.
I can't do it.
Is it cool to work with when you have those scenes in the ring? First of all, the hair.
Oh, man.
Come on with the hair.
Hey, come on with it.
When you first saw yourself in costume and you got out there, and then to work with those, the guys that are out there, they're legends who are helping you choreograph those scenes in the ring. Is it just surreal to you to be able to have that as this next career move for you and just fully immerse in it now?
Yeah, it's surreal and also ironic because the first time I ever got beat up is because I gave someone the suck it sign.
Stop.
Yeah, it's Triple H's fault. So it's only fair that I get compensated to play him, and now everybody loves it when I say,
yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, but no, to your question, it's really cool. And I grew up watching it and playing the video games and, everything. So it's cool to be able to recreate real matches and to be able to watch them. And then we have Chavo Guerrero, who was he did the thing. And he was with us, showing us the moves. And to get to learn from somebody who was hands-on and professional wrestling is awesome. And, just to put it together is great.
I always tell people that, all three of us really are fortunate enough to have, I call them little kid jobs, right? Where you get to your kid and you dream, I want to do this, this, and this, and we're lucky enough to do it. But you, my friend, have had two of them. You've gone professional athlete, which 99% of the people in this room wish they could be, into acting, which the other 99% here would love to do too. That's got to be cool at some point. I don't know if this happens now or 10 years from now or 20 years from now, but to be like, man, it was a pretty incredible run, wasn't it?
Oh, man. Yeah, I've been blessed. I'm very, very grateful. I've been able to live two of my dreams. And the first one kind of as a hometown kid, as close as you can get.
For sure.
I was from Sacramento, and the family was rocking at every game.
San Diego State, right?
I went to San Diego State, and then came back up north. But and then the transition into acting. But even within that, there's hills and valleys, and there was shattered dreams. I felt like I wanted to play 10 years. I wanted to, be in the Pro Bowl or an All-Pro. I didn't make it to the heights that I wanted to. And that's a big part of where my faith came in is just, man, even when one dream is shattered, God still has more for you. And he can take you from glory to glory. He can take you to the next thing and redirect you if you're just focusing on them. And so yeah, it's just it's been great to do it, but it's not all peaks. There's a lot of valleys in there as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to ride those out and know, like you said, there are more doors open. There are more opportunities. You're probably learning a lot more about yourself now too, as you go, right?
Oh yeah.
With everything.
Yeah, I think some of it comes with age, and some of it comes with the change in career and the schedule that comes with that. Having more time to think through what I'm going through instead of just on to the next team, on to the next practice, now to the film room. It's slowed down a bit, and I'm trying to do the same.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Has he been to Allegiant? Have you been yet?
So I haven't been to a game to watch a game at Allegiant, but I've come to some of the alumni events.
Okay,
and
you're
been
there
able to do
for
the
that,
tours and do all that, and it's been fun, man. It's unreal in there. It's beautiful.
So we got to add for 2023. We got to get you to a game on a Sunday. Get everyone fired up. It'll be blast to have you back, man. It'll be good.
Oh, it'd be great.
It'd be good. And it was so good to see you today. I know we've been fortunate enough to talk to you a couple times as we've gone through this second chapter onto this next journey. But it was good to see you in person. It was fun to catch up, and we'll do this with you soon, all right, brother?
Hey, thanks so much.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
to be on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The best things in summer are unofficial. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
And we were back on Radio and Row. Eddie Pascal with Sib Scholes with Seth freaking Rollins.
There
and I do appreciate, my friend, that you got the wardrobe. You're matching the two of us, looking excellent, I might say.
The memo came through. I got it
say.
in time. The suit guy came through. It all worked out great.
He's not worried about any other team except the Raiders, okay? We're just setting it straight right now before we get into things. How's your time been so far?
Great. Today's been awesome. Started off early, but we're rocking, man. We're feeling good. I'm in the flow right now, Just got off with Brandon Marshall and Pac-Man over there, and they were wild. Had my shoe off, my foot out, the whole nine. Everything's crazy, so I'm feeling good, man.
Well, we won't make you take your shoes off here, but I do want to ask you something, though. So you've been to Allegiant Stadium. You have partaken in the activities and everything that Allegiant Stadium brings to the table. And I'm just curious, you've been to so many places, you've seen the world, done incredible things, been in beautiful places. What sticks out from your time in Las Vegas at Allegiant?
Oh, man. I mean, the stadium as just a visual from the outside is bananas because it's It's all black. It's just crazy looking, and it's like in the middle of the desert, you know? So it really just feels like the spaceship just came down from outer space and plopped itself right in the middle of the desert. It's very Raider-esque. It like very much fits the team. And so, I mean, I love the fact that even though it's a city of a lot of transplants and a lot of tourism, there still seemed to be a ton of passion in the audience, right? Yeah. Like, especially for us, WWE as a circus folk we are, we travel around a lot, and some crowds are hit or miss, and a lot of the ones that are native fans, kind of like a Philadelphia, those are the obvious ones, you know, New York, the obvious ones, but sometimes these transplant type cities, whether we're in Florida or some of the California places, you don't know what kind of response you're going to get, and Vegas was sick. The crowd there was just fantastic, and so I really appreciated that enthusiasm and that passion.
Now, if you were not in the ring, would you be out on the field?
Ha!
And what position would you play?
It's not a matter of if. It's a matter of, it's not up to me. You know what I'm saying?
You'd have to get drafted. Yeah, Let's just say in a perfect world, you're out there, okay? You're in the NFL.
I'm a quarterback.
Quarterback.
Baby. Yeah, I'm a quarterback. I'm a facilitator, right? I'm an architect. I'm a visionary. I see things before they happen. So I'm like a Tom Brady. I'm like a Peyton Manning. I'll do all my work the week leading up so that when I get there on Sunday, I can just pick those defenses apart, man. I get the balls to my Christian McCaffreys. I get the balls to my Devontae Adamses, you know, and I'll let them do the hard work. I'll stay on my feet, stay in the pocket. I'll get the job done.
And you get hit enough in your day job, too. We don't need you to get hit anymore.
Exactly.
We'll protect you. We gotta
I'm tough. I'm tough. I can take a beating. I don't want to, but if I got to, I will.
And I do want to ask you, though, it's so interesting where you brought up that, you know, as if you were a football player, but there seems to be such a symbiotic relationship between wrestlers and football players. Like when we were in Oakland, our guys came out to Monday night. They loved it. They're sitting ringside. I know when we had SummerSlam and Allegiant, all our guys go out. What is it? Why do all football players want to be wrestlers, and why so many wrestlers want to be football players?
I think there's an unspoken respect because of the physicality. I think whenever you're in a business where there's so much physicality, whether it's football or pro wrestling, there's just this innate respect that you have for the other side of the coin. And so when you've got that, it just makes everything easy. You know, when you go to a football game, you understand to an extent what it feels like to get thwacked by an opposing player. Yeah. When you go to a pro wrestling show as a football player, you understand what it feels like to fall, you know, and hurt yourself and sacrifice for each other. There's that team mentality as well that I think comes into play. So there's just so many similarities that it becomes easy to root for the other one, to have that love and that respect. And so, yeah, man, I just think that it's sports and it's entertainment, and everybody sort of gets it. And when you all sort of get it and you have it on that same wavelength, it's easy to put it out and support, you know, people of the opposite side.
We know everyone's getting ready to come out to Los Angeles. Big week out in LA happening. What is it about the crowd out there in LA, and what are you most looking forward to?
Well, April 1st, April 2nd, you brought it up, WrestleMania. It's our version of the Super Bowl. We'll be out there for 2 nights, so it's basically like having 2 Super Bowls back to back. We're going to plug 60, 70,000 people into SoFi Stadium 2 nights in a row. And the thing about WrestleMania is it's very much like the Super Bowl, where everybody just descends upon that city. And so it's not even the fans in California. It's a global phenomenon. So we got, I think, all 50 states. We got 50, 60 countries of people coming in to watch WrestleMania. We do a fan access all week long. We get to meet these people, hear their stories, where they come from, how far they traveled to be there, just to see what we do in person. And so it's an amazing experience to really celebrate our industry. And we get to do it for a week, and especially for the 2 nights at the end of the week. It's an awesome experience.
Yeah. Speaking of amazing experiences, this was an amazing experience. We appreciate you stopping by. You look fantastic in the silver and black. And I will say, I tell everyone, it's my token line on your way out. Everyone looks good in silver and black. So if you want to keep repping this fit, if you want to throw a little Raiders shield on that, be our guest. It was great to see you, man, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. Have fun.
Thank you.
We'll see you in LA.
Yes, Los Angeles. Let's go, baby.
So yes, we had those 2. We're going to have a couple more coming down the pipeline next week. But I was thinking about that as we were kind of talking in the packages we're running. We've had a chance to talk to a lot of really cool people.
Yes.
If there's one person here in Phoenix that you haven't had a chance to talk to yet, who's like the #1 on, hey, I don't know if it's going to happen this go around, but if I could wave my magic interview wand, this is the person I want to talk to?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I'm going to have to get into my entertainment side, and I know no one's talking to her except the person interviewing her. I really am mad that we're not talking to Rihanna, okay? Now, some people say Rihanna. She has said that. Some people say Rihanna. I'm going to just say Rihanna right now, but y'all take it how you want it. I would have liked to talk to her just because it's been so long. I mean, again, the halftime shows are so big for the big game. You know, people tune in for that as well as the game, and if they don't watch the game, they want to see what's happening there. So I'm taking it to my red carpet side and the entertainment side, and I would say her, because I think she's done so much in her career. She's taken, you know, her time to do what she wants to do. She's a mama now, so things have changed for her, and she is a sports girl, so it would be nice to kind of sit with her and just get her opinion on things.
What do you think, and I'll have a chance to make you look really smart, who do you think?
Love it.
Who do you think, what does your gut tell you, halftime in Vegas a year from now? Because obviously, look, we're going to talk about the game in a little bit, but Vegas has such a unique opportunity next year with the Super Bowl. And I've been thinking, I was talking about it with my wife, and she's had like a few guesses, but she's certainly not dialed into that world as much as you are. What does your gut tell you for halftime next year?
I mean, for halftime, I think Vegas has done a tremendous job so far of who we've had in our halftime shows. In the top 10s, both years back to back where we've had fans, we have seen us rank very high with Ice Cube, with Lil Jon. What I would like to see versus what I think will happen, what I would like to see is something along the lines of a mixture of what they did at SoFi with
like
having LA represent, kind of. I wouldn't say necessarily have Vegas representing, as you know, Vegas artists. That would be amazing too. But I feel like something that would, as soon as you immediately see these artists, that's Oakland. That's the Raiders. And I know I'm taking it back to the city that we were in, but I feel like something to pay homage to that would be an awesome,
that would be super cool,
throwback. I'm thinking old school throwback. Otherwise, I would see a huge DJ doing a halftime because Vegas is like entertainment capital of the world now, right? Isn't that what it is, or it's been?
Yeah.
So...
It's interesting, though, because, like, you bring up a great point, and my wife brought this up, too. She goes, the beauty of Vegas is next year, whoever the halftime act ends up being, she's like, it won't be a surprise, because you'd be like, oh, that totally makes sense. Yeah. And so, like, there's so many. I mean, you could go down the list. Like, I'd love to see Drake do one day. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing some of, like, one of the older cats come back, like a Paul McCartney type of dude do it.
Stop, you think?
Yeah, I don't know. But the beauty of it is,
would be great.
It would be really cool. But the beauty of it is that whoever is announced, you'd be like, yeah, I totally get that. It totally makes sense for Vegas. And so, like, that part of it is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, no, I think that's the beauty, touching on that point of Las Vegas. It doesn't matter what you're going to that city for or how long you're there for. Everything kind of goes with it. And hands down, it doesn't matter who will be on that field come next year. I think it's going to be a shutdown show, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. So speaking of what's going on the field this Sunday, unfortunately, our beloved Raiders are not going to be playing on Sunday afternoon here in Phoenix, but two teams are the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I'm curious, on our way out, Sib, give me an official, put the noise on it out. Give me an official game prediction for what you think is going to happen on Sunday, and then I'll give you mine.
I mean, I want to see a really great game like everybody does. I want it to come down to the wire. I'm Raiders, so I cannot go with the Chiefs. You know that. I cannot take it. I will say this, though, as a fan of the sport, Mahomes as an athlete is just next level, right? What he does out there, him and the connection that he has with his guys, especially Kelsey, is amazing. However, as a Raider fan and out there, I really want to see Jalen do something out there. I want to see the Eagles take it. I would love for them to take it. I think it'll be great for the city of Philadelphia, having Philadelphia do it, and I think it'll be good. Yeah,
I'm going to say I agree with you. I, in my heart of hearts, cannot give the Chiefs any love. I cannot predict that they're going to win a game. So I'm going to say 28-24 Eagles. Going to be a good game, an exciting game. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think, obviously, both these teams are more than capable of going out there, balling out and winning a game. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think it's going to be tightly contested. But I think I'm going to hold on to the Eagles 28-24. 28-24. 28-24. That's my pick.
I like that. No, it's going to come down to the wire. It is. Those guys are ready, both of them. I mean, they've been talking about it all week long. We've seen the pressers. We've seen what they did out on that field this season. Yeah. I won't be wearing an Eagles jersey.
No, certainly
not.
not.
That's against the law.
Certainly not.
However, I'm cheering for them.
I'm just curious, too. What does a Super Bowl Sunday look like in your house, right?
Oh, what does it look like?
I feel like it's across the country, across the world, they're all slightly different, but they're more or less the same, you know?
My sister's probably cooking. I see her doing the cooking.
Yep.
I will be doing the eating. It's just we get together. The love language that I share with my family is sports. So anytime there's a championship game, something like the Super Bowl, I mean, we're together. We are loud, regardless if our team is in it or not, which we'd love to see coming up soon. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of family time. It's going to be a lot of music. We'll play music in the background. We'll probably have 2 TVs going. I'm sure there's like basketball going on as well that day. So it's going to be a loud day for me. What about you?
So, something similar. Mine's a little bit more tame this year, simply because I got the pregnant wife. So we're not out and about. We're not going to be doing anything crazy. So it'll be good to just hang out with her. The beauty of having a pregnant wife, though, who's 7.5 months pregnant, we're going to eat all the food. We are going to eat so much food.
We love it.
She already has her list going.
She's eating for
baby.
baby.
Exactly. She has her list going of what we're gonna. I gotta go pick up when we get back to Vegas. It's gonna be a blast. But to your point, it's like it's a good chance to spend time together. It's a good chance to just all of us collectively enjoy a fantastic game, the culmination to a really incredible season for the NFL. But then once that wraps, on Monday we'll take stock, and then Tuesday we're looking ahead to 2023
already.
And really, that's what I can't wait for.
It's never stops.
Never stops. But this was so much fun. I'm so glad that you were able to come and hang out with us here in the other desert for a couple days. It'd been an absolute blast. I know we're going to do more of this going forward, and I cannot wait. So
excited for it.
For Eddie Pascal, my pal Sib Scholes, Miles Burris, Seth Rollins, everyone else this week who has helped us get from A to Z, and there are so many people back in the facility in, I was going to say Alameda, back in the facility in Henderson. It has been so much fun. Thank you. And we'll catch you guys next week with our normal episode of Upon Further Review.
Wait, before we cut, what's your wife's name?
Kirsten.
Kirsten, we love you.
Yes, she'll be ready for me to come home.
He's coming home.
I'm
Kirsten.
coming home.
Thank you.